just got out of Notre Dame football fall camp practice number 2 here on Notre Dame's campus, boots on the ground from Blue and Gold. I'm Jack Sobel. He is Eric Hansen. And Eric, we talked to the running backs and quarterbacks, specifically starting quarterback CJ Carr. We'll get to him in a bit. But you kept a close eye on the running back room today. We talked to Jaywan Sider. You spent a lot of time with Aeneas Williams. What were some of your takeaways?
Yeah, I watched the running back drills. It's going to be hard not having a 5-man rotation or at least a 4-man rotation. A lot of talent in that running back room, and that's one of the things that Jaywan Sider talked about. He said without with a new 5-year rule, that they don't have to worry about redshirting players. And so one of the players that he brought up was Jonas Walton, a freshman, and he said, I don't know if he's going to play in game 1. I don't know if he's going to play in game 4, but he's going to play. But the guy that really stands out still for a lot of reasons is Aeneas Williams. The way he leads that room. Jaywan Sider even mentioned that he was the leader in the room last year,
That comment stood out to me. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he just is a real bulldog. I asked him if he ever did boxing. He goes, I haven't been in a fight in my life. He goes, but my older sister used to bully me. That's how I got tough. But the toughness that he brings, the versatility that he brings, but he's bringing people along with him, and that's what's really cool to see.
And the effort with which he runs in practice stands out, I think, both to us. I think you were the first to point that out yesterday, and Jaywan Sider. You go back to spring ball, the guy had a brace on his elbow. I forget which one it was, but he had a brace on his elbow. He couldn't take contact, but he was still running like he could.
Yeah.
And you go to fall camp, the elbow's fine, but he's running as hard as he possibly can, even though they're not going to the ground. It's stud tempo. They're not wearing shoulder pads. That is the kind of thing that sets the example, and Jaywan Sider really lauded him for that. We also asked him about Aeneas Williams' pass catching ability, which is something that stood out for a long time. Sider said he first noticed that when Aeneas, quote, sent his, parentheses, butt home crying in the Orange Bowl when Sider is on the Penn State sideline. Very bullish on Aeneas Williams is Jaywan Sider. He did say that they haven't officially named Williams a starter, that they want there to be competition in the room, but he did admit that if the season started today, it would be Aeneas Williams as a starting running back. We also got a chance to talk to CJ Carr. I spent a little bit of time with him. The thing that stands out is kind of what he's saying about Notre Dame receivers. The money quote, and something we'll probably use on blueandgold.com. I wouldn't play man against us. That's something CJ Carr told the local media. He talked about Jordan Faison. He said that Faison, with the lacrosse background he has, he understands spacing so well that he's always going to be in the right spot, and he's always going to know where to go and kind of how to find the gaps in the zone defense. That's something that comes from his lacrosse background, and Carr said he's known that since he started working with Faison. Jaden Greathouse is a name that continues to come up, and Carr mentioned him as well. He only threw to Greathouse for 4 catches for 73 yards before Greathouse went down with the hamstring injury last year. Mike Denbrock said it was really good to have Greathouse back, and hope to the good Lord that he stays that way, because the hamstring is healthy. He looks very good and athletic in practice, and Carr said that's another weapon that he's going to really utilize this season.
Yeah, and we were walking from the IAC over here. I mean, I really think you're going to see that, especially if Quincy Porter is healthy at the start of the season, you're really going to see that group of 4 at the top of the rotation playing a lot. And then you'll see a tier of 3 guys kind of rotate in at some of those spots. But you'll see them in different spots. You'll see different formations. And all I've been hearing, again, this summer is don't play man against them or you're going to pay for it.
You really are. And Aeneas Williams is a part of that too, right? Because you get him matched up on a linebacker at some point. He's going to win that matchup more often than not. So I think between Williams and Greathouse and Faison and Mylan Graham and Quincy Porter, if and when he does get back healthy, he's still not doing a whole lot. I don't know how much you watched the receivers today. He was moving with a bit of a limp yesterday. I don't know if he looked better today.
In the little bit that I saw, he looked a little bit better today. But they seemed to be encouraged. He must have had a much bigger limp before. So, but today, I mean, he was cutting. He wasn't doing a lot of cutting, but I mean, he was doing all the individual drills, and we weren't allowed for the good stuff.
Speaking of cutting, I should know, and I should know this at the start of this video. We saw the first 25 minutes of practice. We didn't see any competitive periods. Maybe Mike can put a little disclaimer in the description. But what we did see, it was like a one-on-one, no tackling drill where a receiver or running back got the ball. They were kind of headed on an angle towards the defensive back, and their job was to make him miss. Micah Gilbert, I thought, put a really nice move on Breontae Johnson. Gilbert, someone who obviously had a tough day against Leonard Moore, but that was good to see from someone who you don't necessarily think about for his agility. That was really encouraging. And then Greathouse again, like the move he put on, I think the very next rep on, I forget who the defensive back was, but it just goes to show you like this guy's back. It's just a matter of keeping him that way.
Yeah, some of the, a lot of times what they'll do when the media's in there, they work on special teams. So they had some kickoff coverage kind of stuff going on today. We didn't see field goals today, but you watched a lot of the defensive drills. What stood out to you?
I did watch a lot of defensive drills. I started on the defensive line. You continue to be so impressed with what you see from Charlie Partridge when he coaches the defensive line. He was working on a move called the snap chop, and you'll see video of this probably in the background of this video, over and over again, rep, all on this one pass rush move. I think it speaks to how much he emphasizes like the technical aspect of pass rushing, and that does explain why. In 7 seasons at Pitt, Charlie Partridge's teams finished top 3 nationally in sacks 4 times.
And the snap chop is a big move. Snap chop is a big move in the buffet line for the media. So then, what did you see from the linebackers and the defensive backs?
Linebackers, you continue to see Marcus Freeman heavily involved in linebacker drills. I think it really speaks to how much he's willing to do the little things in practice. You see Kingston Viliamuasa, continuing to move pretty well. Brian Jones.
No limp.
Say it again.
No limp.
No limp on him. He's still not doing contact, but he is moving very well, and no brace either, or sleeve or anything, which I think it speaks to his ability to come back from this injury shockingly fast from when it occurred, and it was his second ACL too,
right?
Which is significant. Got a chance to watch Javon Codlin, the new, not new because he was with the team last year, but he got hired by North Texas as a safeties coach. Then Notre Dame hired him back as a safeties coach. He was a GA last year, but he was working with the safeties. They were working on defending wheel routes. Like they had a dummy safety or a dummy receiver running back kind of jog up the sideline. They were working on kind of turning upfield and turning their heads towards the football and getting back to it and intercepting it. I think just the emphasis between Codlin and Partridge, then Aaron Henry with the cornerbacks was working on kind of dropping back into cover 3 while keeping your eyes on the quarterback. Just the specificity with which they're doing individual drills. I think it speaks to how much time they've spent together this offseason, how long the offseason was, how they've really gotten the basics down, and they can really hone in on the specifics of playing defense.
Anything else that jumped out at you today?
The whole team, continues to look locked in. I think I got a comment actually from a national media reporter who was at practice yesterday about just how professional of an environment this is, and that Marcus Freeman is running. Just how efficient they are with practice. I think you saw that again today. From a macro perspective, I think it's very encouraging what we've seen.
And my full disclosure statement is we do not actually have boots, so we have sneakers on the ground today.
I think that's a great way to end this video. Stay tuned for more coverage on blueandgold.com. We'll have a ton from Aeneas Williams, CJ Carr, J1 Sider, Gino Gaduli, probably some stuff left over from Mike Denbrock and Chris Ash yesterday, practice observations, and more on this YouTube channel. So subscribe to blueandgold.com if you haven't already. 75% off. That deal lasts until August 12th. We have never offered a better one, and I speak truthfully on that matter. I'm Jack Sobel. He is Eric Hansen. We will see you again tomorrow.